Hey guys, Sean here with Revealing Truth, and I just wanted to do a quick follow up on this article that came out. You can see the title right there. Yet another story hour drag queen turns out to be a child sex offender. Okay, this is crazy stuff, but this is the world we live in. I don't know if you've seen this. It's pretty new. It says April 15th, 2019. You've seen lots of stuff on the net about this. I'm just going to read this story. You guys can look at that lovely picture of the beeps corrupting your children. But what it said here is, we've said it before and we'll say it again, children are the biggest victims as the inclusive mob continues on its path with complete cultural domination. This is the world we're living in, people. Whether it's simply being exposed to confusing, unnatural situations or being put directly in arm's reach of predators who have infiltrated the LGBTQIAWXYZ plus movement, no child is safe while this movement gains ground. And I don't even know what all I know: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, I don't know, this QIA, CIA, SPCA, I don't know what it stands for. But anyhow, continuing. Take, for example, the Drag Queen Story Hour, which has been working to nab children while they're young and expose them to men who were once confined to performing in sordid nightclubs and are now being thrust into the mainstream in the name of acceptance. This is really bad. So here's a little clip. It says, and I'm going to leave the link to this so you can read it yourself, but a clip from the Drag Queen Story Hour website says, DQSH, whatever that means, captures the imagination and play of the gender fluidity of children and gives kids glamorous, positive, and unabashedly queer role models. In spaces like this, kids are able to see people who defy rigid gender restrictions and imagine a world where people can present as they wish, where dress up is real. This is absolutely crazy. I'm so glad I don't see this where I live. I live in the Philippines, and while it's got problems, we don't see this here. Continuing. Now, if parents want to expose their kids to the concepts of gender fluidity, what a joke, I suppose that's their prerogative. Gender confusion is far from the biggest concerns of these little events. Reports of convicted pedophiles and child sex offenders performing at these story hours keep cropping up, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Do you? I don't think so. Part of the world agenda, the enemy gaining ground and trying to just mess this world up more than it already is. Continuing, in Houston, Texas alone, a second drag queen associated with the city's DQSH, once again, whatever that is, has been outed as a child sex offender, indicating that no one at the HPL seems to care about the safety of the children who come onto their facility. Now, we got another clip here. It says the PJ Media reports, on Thursday, activist parents with mass resistant unmasked another child sex offender who greeted children at Drag Queen Storytime. According to a local mass resistance leader, Tracy Shannon, a drag performer with many aliases, has sexually assaulted children and publicly recounted his history as a transgender dominatrix and prostitute for hire. His name is being redacted here because he was allegedly convicted for sexual assault against children at age 16, so his record has been sealed. Psh, what a joke. Protect the guilty, persecute the innocent. Continuing, even if we set aside this man's alleged sealed record of sexual assault against children while he was a child himself, the fact that he has boasted of a career as a sex worker and prostitute is more than enough reason not to invite him to come to the library and spend time with any children for any reason. I mean, what on earth was the Houston Library staff thinking? Now, we have another big reveal today at our press conference, it reports, which will take place at 2 p.m. at the Freed Montrose Library. Shannon said, breaking the news that they had discovered a second sex offender at Houston's DQSH. Due to this individual using multiple aliases and having moved around a lot, it was hard to nail down his identity, but we finally connected the dots. We found his name a few days ago, but trying to find some affirmation and photos was like looking for a needle in a haystack of social media postings. Once we affirmed the identity and ran background checks and found the record, we will reveal at 2 p.m. Central Time at our press conference, she added. Thankfully, Mass Resistance plans to demand an audit of the entire HPL background checks versus volunteer applications to see how many have experienced an oversight and how many sex offenders have been allowed to participate in children's programming at the libraries in Houston. We will also be demanding a city ordinance that requires background checks for a city-sanctioned program for children where we have our press conference. Of course, the first time the Houston Public Library was called out by Mass Resistance for allowing a convicted child sex offender to read to kids at the DQSH, they seemed to own up to their mistake and promise to, actually run background checks on the men who are volunteering to participate in the program. Now, at the time, HPL had this to say about Albert Alfonso Garza, the drag queen who turned out to be a convicted sex offender whose victim was under age 14. They continue here. It says, in our review of our process and of this participant, we discovered that we failed to complete a background check as required by our guidelines. Surprise, surprise. We deeply regret this oversight and the concern that may cause our customers. We realize this is a serious matter. I don't think they do. Every program sponsored by HPL is supervised by HPL staff, and all children are accompanied by a parent and or guardian. No participant is ever alone with children, and we have not received any complaints about any inappropriate behavior by participants at story times. We are taking the appropriate action to ensure that the status of every participant in every program throughout our system is verified. We will continue to review our process to ensure that this cannot happen again. Yeah, right, sure they will. Looks like their process needed a little more reviewing. Whoopsies, I guess not, right? So perhaps the parents of Houston and many other community that host these events need to reevaluate whether inclusivity is worth such a steep risk to their children's safety. So that is the article. I'm going to leave the link below so you can read this. Check it out yourself. Man, share this video, share the link, do something. Let people know that this is happening, guys. This world is falling apart. And you know what? Just like Adolf Hitler said, you train the children, you convert the children, you make them what you want at that young age, and they will follow you down the dark, dirty road that you set out from them. It's happening in Hollywood. It's happening in the music industry. It's happening in libraries now. This world is going down the tubes. Marantha, come, Lord, come. We need to stand up to this stuff. Guys, I just wanted to give you the short little clip. Take care. God bless, and get the word out.